In the last episode, we set up the basic framework and now we're gonna finish it off. So let's head into our blueprint campfire where we're burning, remove the false part, and we're gonna make a new function. This function, we're just gonna call it check if by product. And this is just gonna do a output boolean of success, unplug it, move it a bit over, and we're gonna do a switch on integer. The selection is gonna be a random integer in range, and we're just gonna do from 0 to 1. So that's 50% chance. Hide the default, add 2. If it is 0, we're gonna set it to success. If it is 1, so it fails, it's gonna be false. Out in your event graph, you can plug that into your false. And out from the success, we're gonna do a AND boolean, plugging that into a branch. So we're checking if it has a byproduct and the current fuel source with the defaults. Break that item info open, and we might need to add this here. Yeah, go to your item info. Inside item info, add 2 variables. So we're gonna add, first one is gonna be byproduct. That's gonna be of type master item. Second one is gonna be fuel, and that's gonna be a float. Save that. You can close the item info. We need to open up our master item to compile and save this. So now we're going to check if the byproduct is valid. So not equal, but valid. Is there something here? Does the current fuel source have a byproduct? And we checked if it's one that randomly. So if it doesn't, we're going to make a new function. This one is going to be called find fuel. Inside find fuel, we're going to get our chest contents. We're going to do a for each loop with break. Out from for each loop with break. Out from the array element, we're going to break that open. We're going to check if the item is valid. We want to switch on the category, so we're going to get the item. We're going to get the defaults. We're going to break open the item info. And we're going to switch on the category, and I think we need to update that as well. Yeah, we do. Plug that into true, though, for now. And search for your item categories. Inside item categories, we can add 2 enums. The first one is going to be called material. And the second one is going to be fuel. Save that, close it. Go back to your master item once more. Compile and save that. If it's valid and it's going to switch on the fuel. So if it's valid and it's a type fuel, then it's going to break out. Again, we are going to double check this in our completed. So what we're going to do now, though, is that we're going to get our chest contents. Out from chest contents, we're going to get a copy. We're going to get a copy at the index that we found it in. We're going to break that open. We're going to check if the, we're going to get the item defaults. And we're going to break open the item info. And out from completed, you're going to drag down a branch. Out from categories, you're going to type in equal. Oh, that didn't work. That's not the category. Equal enum. Plug that into there. It's going to be of type fuel. If that is false, we're going to return. We need a output on that. So we need a success and we need a index. If we're outputting and it's false, then it's not going to be a success and we're not going to have any index. However, if it's true, then we are going to pass a success, and the index is the array index. Compile and save that. Head back to your event graph. Find fuel over here. So we're going to check the byproduct. If that is false, then we're going to find fuel. Right, so we're not going to add any bonus item. If out from the success, we're going to do a branch. If it's false, so it's not successful, we're going to call stop. If it's true, we're going to find make a new function. This one is going to be called use fuel. It's going to have an input of integer. It's going to be an index, right? If you go back to your event graph, so we can explain. So if it's a byproduct, do we have a bonus? No. Okay, we don't have a bonus, or it didn't pass the check. We're going to see if we have any fuel in our chest, campfire, which is technically a chest. If we don't, we're going to stop it. If we do, then we're going to use the fuel at the index that we found it on. However, we haven't set that up, so let's do that. Promote this index to a local index. Then we're going to get our chest contents. I'm going to do a set array element. The index is our local index. I could probably just go out for that. Split that open. Out from our chest, get a copy at the local index. Break that open. Quantity is going to be quantity minus 1. So we're going to take away one of them. That's going to be our item quantity. Size that to fit. The item comes from our item class. Then we're going to set current fuel source to the one that we are using right now. And then we're going to do a branch out from that. We're going to get our contents. We're going to get a copy at our local index same as before. So now we're checking basically if quantity is less than 1. Because if quantity is less than 1, then it's 0. And we want to get the chest content set array element. If it's less than 0, that's true. I'm going to set the array element. It's going to be at the local index. Break open the item. Set it to 0 and blank. And then we're going to return from that. File and save. Head back to your event graph. So now we used our fuel. Or we didn't. No, now we used our fuel. Right? It finds the fuel and then it uses, because when we find it, this one will, if it produces a true, we have found a valid fuel source. So now we're going to use one of them. That's why we're not checking if it's greater than 0 over here. After we have used it, we want to get our FPP ref. Out from that, we want to get the HUD ref. And we're going to get the chest inventory. And we want to initialize the chest. After this, what we're going to do is we're going to set the current fuel. Actually, on our use fuel, what we also want to do is we want to get the current fuel source, and then we want to get the defaults of the current fuel source, break open the item info, and then in here we want to set the M fuel to the fuel provided. Right, so let's move that a little bit over there. Set the M fuel to be the incoming fuel from our class, from our fuel source, and then also set the current fuel to be equal to that new maximum, and then into the branch. Back in our event graph, we are initializing, we don't need that then, and then we want to call our reburn. So this handles if we don't have a bonus. However, if we do have a bonus, we want to check if the item exists already in our inventory. So let's make it a function. Check if item exists in our inventory, or in our chest. Sorry, it's going to be have an input of item, which is going to be master item class reference. Compile and save that. Back in our event graph, let's just plug that in right away. So if we are getting a bonus, then we want to check if the item actually exists. So we want to go into our byproduct down here. We want to plug that into your item. Our check if item exists is going to have two outputs. First one is going to be success. Second one is going to be an integer of type index. We're going to check our chest contents for each loop with break. Plug it into there. Our array element, break that open. Check if our item that we find at the index is equal to, and we want to check if the quantity that we found it at is less than the defaults. Break that open. Is less than the max stack size. Out into a branch. If that is true, we're going to break it. And we're again always, I don't know, I just don't trust it. So I'm always double checking that the outcoming one is going to be what I want it to be. So if it's true, then it's a success. And the index is this index. Compile and save that and back to your event graph. Out from the success, make a branch. Let's do the if it does exist first, so it's a true. What we're going to do then is we're going to add a new function, add to current stack. What we want to do here, we want a 2 inputs. Oh, not out. Well, we want a 2 inputs. One is going to be the item, and the other one is going to be the index. Let's head back here and just plug it in. So we're going to add to current stack. So if item exists, we're going to add to current stack. What are we going to... it's going to be this index, and it's going to be the byproduct item. Open that up. In here, we are going to get chest contents. We're going to get a copy at the incoming index. We're going to break that open. We're going to set plus on the quantity. We're going to get the out from the chest contents. You're going to set array element. The index is going to be the found index. The item is going to be the byproduct. The quantity is going to be the reference at the index found plus 1. So it's going to add 1 to it. Size that to fit. Out from that, you can just plug that into the return node. Head back to your event graph. After we've added it to the stack, we want to go find fuel again. However, if it doesn't exist, we want to find empty slot. Do we have that here? No, I don't think we have find empty slot. No, we don't. So let's make it a function. Find empty slot. It's going to have 2 outputs. First one, index of type integer. Second one, item of type master item. Actually, do we need a... no, we don't need an item output. We need a boolean. Success. I'm going to get chest contents. We're going to do a for each loop with break. Just looping through our inventory. Checking if the item is valid. Okay, so we can do it like this. If it's a valid class, if it's false, then we're going to break out of it. And we are going to, out on completed, going to return with the answer and the index. Compile and save, head back to your event graph. Out from false, plug in find empty slot, out with a branch. If it's true, get chest contents, set array element. The index is our found index. Break over the item, size that to fit. The quantity is going to be 1 because we're adding one bonus. The item that we're going to add is current fuel source. It's over there. Yeah, let's just drag it over from over there. Fuck it. And we're going to plug that into there. We are going to go back to find fuel. I compile and save this. If we give it a shot, we need to set up some stuff first. So item, our item wood. Let's duplicate that. This one is going to be called item charcoal. It's going to be named charcoal. Byproduct of burning wood. I don't have any texture for charcoal, so we're just going to add pine. It's going to stack up to 64. It's going to be a material. It does not have a byproduct. It does not have any fuel. Now, if we go into item wood, we can set the fuel, first of all, to be, let's say, 50. Actually, let's say 25, so that it goes a bit faster for us. And the byproduct is charcoal. Wood only stacks up to 3. That's okay. We go in here now, and we check it. So first of all, let's just burn out what we already have while we're looking at the code in the background to see if it's working. This time the class isn't going to be valid, so this should go out as a false. And it did. It looked for fuel, didn't find it, so it stopped. Let's go and add some wood. I think I have some wood over there. It's going to look for byproduct. This has a 50% chance of being successful, so let's not celebrate already. Not find a fuel. Why did it not find fuel? We didn't set it as fuel. I swear to God, I swear to God, we set it as fuel. It found the fuel, it used the fuel, it initialized, and it started the reburn. We need to set the current fuel source to a default. So we're going to set it to default to be wood. Is it the find empty slot that is failing? It has to be the find empty slot, isn't it? Yeah, because I did it like this. Out from the find empty slot, unplug these successes. We're going to do a branch down here. If that branch is true, we're going to head over there. If it's false, we're going to go into the bottom one. If it's false, then it's going to be true. Out from completed, grabbing that branch. Move our chess constants down here. Get a copy at the index. Break that open. Check if the item is valid. That is our condition. Our index, our free index is this free index. So if we go now and we do our event graph, now it should go and find an empty slot and add our bonus to it if it has a bonus. So we're just going through it. And there we go. We got ourselves a charcoal. And we got ourselves another charcoal. Awesome. Can, of course, move that out. There is definitely some things. Okay, so now, for example, when it starts and it stops itself again, what we want to do is we want to also change the button. So when it stops, we want to button, start, stop, ref, get text, and it's going to be the start, stop text, set text to start. If I compile and save that, hit play, it's going to burn itself out, it's going to stop, and then it's going to be resetting itself to be able to start again. And we need to set started to be false as well. Started to be false. Compile, save, hit play, it's going to burn itself out, it's going to run and put it to stop. Now it's going to work perfectly like so. If you don't want it, okay, let's figure this out because this is actually pissing me off. It's looking for, it's out of the completed unfind fuel. And it is that branch. So let's do a on this item that is causing the issue. So let's do a valid class branch. We're branching everywhere, dude. If it's valid, let's go and check it. Compile and save, hit play, close it out, nothing happens. Awesome. I guess that's it for our little chest. Oh, okay. Let's head over into our first person character. When we close our inventory, we are also gonna get our start stop, and we're gonna set that to hidden as well, like so. Could also do a distance. So out from our campfire, right? We have our sphere. When we end that overlap, we can also get the HUD ref, get chest inventory, and then also get the start stop and set visibility to be hidden. So now when we go out there, it's going to close itself. The inventory is still going to be up. So, but at least we can't do anything with that when we leave that area. Okay, I think that is it for the campfire. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I hope you learned something. I definitely learned something, and I'm going to be using functions a lot more. Like and subscribe if you found this tutorial helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.